Good morning, everybody. If you're looking for English, you are in the wrong spot. It's like the polar opposite of what this class is going to be. Let's get started with your first quiz. So, what I want you to do is put down your phones, put away your pencils and paper. You're not going to need them for this quiz. You are going to have to do something probably more scary, which is talk to the person next to you. Okay? So I want you to turn to the person next to you, introduce yourself, and start answering these questions. Go!
Computer engineer. Oh, nice. Yeah, they had it.
I heard the CS is super saturated right now, so it's kind of lofty thinking about it, but yeah. Are you more non-fiction?
I'm more of a fiction person, but I can find myself reading nonfiction, but it really depends on like what the subject is like about colonization might get bored because we kind of learn that all the time. Like if you give me a book about like ancient history or Native American, okay, I might start reading about that. Or
Anyone to like the biggest hire, Central Valley like medical database.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, you guys are pretty lively for 8 o'clock in the morning. That's great. Question. Why would I have you guys talk to each other for the first 5 minutes of this class? Because nerds are antisocial? How do you know when an engineer is interested in you? No. When they look at your shoes instead of their own. No, it's not because nerds are antisocial. Idea?
I was going to say because working with other people is going to be important for this class.
Wait a second. This is physics. We don't talk to each other, right? I mean, you went into science so that you didn't have to do anything like that, right? This isn't social science. This is physics. Why would I want the very first experience you're having in this classroom talking to each other and not me?
So you're comfortable asking questions when you don't know?
How often are you going to not know in this class? Yeah, all the time, right? You guys are brilliant. You guys are smart. Heck, you've passed calculus to be here, right? Okay, the prerequisites of this is pretty tight. Yeah, I mean, get you comfortable with asking questions. I always say that that's a good thing, but like, that's not the reason. You're doing good. You're not quite, you're circling, you're not quite landing. A teacher should never fish for an answer, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now, but that's okay. There is a very specific purpose for it. Yeah.
To help us familiarize ourselves with each other for study groups.
Oh, because I want you working together? That's a good side effect of the purpose, I suppose. Are you going to have to work with each other?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. To survive this class, you're going to have to work with each other. I'm sorry if you like being antisocial, if you're shy like me, if you don't like working with other people, get over it. You're going to need help. And really the best way to do this class is to fail as fast as possible. Not the class, but to fail on the process and the questions and get all those failures out so that by the time you get to the exams, you're not making mistakes anymore, right? So you fail faster when you can bounce ideas off of each other. So it's a good idea, but it's not the reason I had you talking to each other for the first 5 minutes. I mean, I haven't even introduced myself yet, right? I haven't even told you my name. It was on the slide, but I had you talk to each other for the first 5 minutes. Why? Don't be afraid of being wrong. No. Ooh, icebreaker again. We're back to the whole, I feel a real antisocial vibe going on this morning.
So we don't talk when you're talking?
Oh, well, because I'm in charge. I'm the one with the bow tie, right? And if I'm talking, no, I mean, come on. Isn't physics, this is how physics is supposed to happen. You're supposed to come into the room, and I will start lecture, right? And I will have 20, 30-minute conversation with the board, right? And about 20, 30 minutes into class, somebody out there will get the courage to ask a question, because everybody's lost, right? And somebody will ask a question, and I will turn around in shock and awe that there are still people in the room. Right? All those horror stories you've heard about physics lecture and physics class and all that kind of stuff. Some of them are true. Well, actually, I don't know the ones you've ever heard, but they're probably all true. You guys can come on in and fill seats. Don't worry about interrupting me. And as you can tell already, my class isn't like that. But why would I want you talking to each other, not over me, not for control or dominance, but why would I want you talking to each other during lecture? Yeah, I want you comfortable asking questions. Okay, now we're getting closer. Did everybody hear that?
No.
Say it louder.
The people next to us might understand the material better than we do.
Ah, right, right. And so I can lean over and go, have you understood anything that's been said in the last 10 minutes? Please help me. Not quite. How do you know when you know something? Say it loud. When you can teach someone else. Every day in here, there's going to be several moments when I'm going to ask you to turn to each other and do something. Okay? A quiz, a discussion, whatever, something. Okay? And you're going to have an opportunity to try to explain in your own words what we just learned. If you open your mouth and nothing comes out, what do you know? You know nothing, which is priceless. Knowing that you don't know now empowers you to start working on that, right? If you know that you don't know, then you know what you need to do. If you open your mouth and Nobel Prize winning physics starts spilling out, what do you know? You've been possessed by the devil. No. Like you know, right, that you know something. And that's golden knowledge too. We want to know what we don't know, and we want to know what we know. And knowing is how you know things. What does that mean?
There's no.
Well, there's plenty of known unknowns. It's the unknown unknowns that I'm worried about. Okay? But teaching each other. Every opportunity you get, not just in lecture, but like working on homework together, going to the tutorial center, forming those study groups, talking to each other is how you will learn physics. This is how you are going to be successful in this class. And so when I tell you that this class will be interactive, that you'll be talking to each other, that you'll be doing it, do you believe me?
Yes.
Why?
You're the professor.
Right, because the professor says it and it must be true and I'll say anything to get an A. No, why do you know that's true? How many classes have you gone into on the first day and the teacher for 45 minutes tells you exactly how interactive the class is going to be and never once interacts with you or has you interact with each other? What was the first thing you did in my class? You talked to each other, not me, right? I'm serious about this, right? I want you talking to each other. This is group, right? We will survive as a group. It is you and me. It is you together and me with you versus physics. It's not you versus me. We've got a lot of work to do. Good morning, my name is Mr. Balogh, and I teach physics. All right, let's shout out some of these things. Don't be embarrassed. Where were you born? Okay, get that one out of the way. Where else? Napa? South Dakota. Oh, we're getting far away, all right. Amsterdam. Love it. Philippines? Tagalog kayo? Mabuti. I lived for 2 years in the Philippines. We're gonna have to talk about synagogue. All right. Where else? Don't be shy. It's not a contest, by the way. We're not going for furthest point, although Philippines is starting to get there. India? Pakistan, Middle East, Africa? I love Fresno City College. I love it. It is so awesome. We have so many cool people and cultures and everything here. It's just amazing. What's your favorite thing to do?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons? I used to be a DM. I was a very cruel DM because I made players roll their own dice against themselves. Yeah, they couldn't blame me for anything. That lucky D20 that they had wasn't so lucky when the monster was rolling it. Dungeons and Dragons, what else?
Video games.
Video games?
Snowboarding.
This is not a good year for that, is it?
Not really.
Yeah, we need more snow in the mountains.
Fishing.
Uh-huh, very good.
Yoga.
Yoga. Did I hear typing or hiking? Hiking, okay, good.
Motorcycling.
Very good.
Quality time.
Quality time as in,
Spending time with family.
okay, family time, I like it. Please come on in and find seats. They're here and there. You don't worry about interrupting me. We got two right here. I did kind of block out these, but I'll put seats back here if we need them. But please come on in, have a seat. What else do you like to do? Music. What was it? TikTok. Yes, right? Okay. All those other things that are lovely and distracting. Favorite? Any good movies lately? I'm not a big movie buff. Wicked was amazing. Oh, Wicked was amazing. Ariana Grande basically erased my conception of Christian Chenoweth, right? Christian Chenoweth is the original Glinda, and then Ariana Grande, oh my gosh, did such a good job. Favorite place to eat in Fresno that is not your mother or your grandmother's house, because I can't go there.
Key Barbecue it's in Clovis, Willow and Shaw. It's a Korean fried chicken.
K Barbecue?
Yeah. It's newer, like a month or two old.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one. Letter K, right?
Yeah. It's a chain.
I mean, chains can be good or bad, right?
This one's good.
Where else?
Spicy J's of River Park.
Spicy J's? What's that?
It's like a Chinese restaurant.
I mean, J-Pod next to it.
There's also a Costco.
Is Spicy J, are they true to their name and that it's spicy?
You can, some of them.
I turned a certain age and now my stomach hates me.
Your favorite is
My mouth likes spice.
they have like the regular menu and then the authentic
Okay,
menu.
okay, all right. Well, where else? Yeah.
Roll State Rooftop.
I don't know that one either.
It's downtown. It's a little. Their menu changes.
Okay.
Quality.
What was the first word?
Well, like the.
Like the bird?
You have to make reservations. They have a bar and their own drinks, so it's not
Okay.
other drinks.
I'm not a drinker, but places that have drinks usually have good food.
Like Pappy's Mexican for Taco Tuesday.
Okay, Taco Tuesday at Pappy's, I know that one.
Ma's Kitchen?
Not your mother's kitchen, but
No.
okay,
Ma's,
all right,
Ma's.
Ma. What is that? And where is it?
Oh God, it's like a Chinese.
Uh-huh.
A Ma Pa Chinese restaurant.
Some of my favorite Chinese places are total holes in the wall.
They make the best fried noodle.
Okay.
Fried noodles.
Ma's kitchen.
Wad with a W.
Oh, Ma. I was thinking mother.
No.
Why am I writing these down?
Do you want to try 'em?
I need date ideas. Okay? I've been married for 28 years. I'm getting desperate.
Heirloom's a good one.
Yeah, my wife likes heirloom. I don't.
Everyone does.
The Smash Burger place?
Okay, smash burger. There isn't an actual smash burger. Is that what it's called?
It's Hammy's.
Hammy's. Yeah.
A slice of India.
Okay, is that like Indian pizza?
Indian food.
It's just Indian food.
Yeah.
The best Mexican breakfast place is Owl's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Those are fighting words.
Yeah, it's like a very old establishment that's been there forever.
They took over Wendy's, the old Wendy's.
Yeah.
Old Dock, Spice Fresno State. I like that.
I don't, but I'm glad you do. It's just noisy.
What is it?
Bulldog. It's
Hold up.
just go in there and it's like TV's on and all that. It's overwhelming for me.
Sweets and spices off Dakota and Blackstone, I believe it is.
I'm going to give you guys A's because this is really good. Usually people say things like me and Ed's.
They're the wrong plate.
Anywhere else?
New City.
New City?
Yeah, it's another Chinese place.
Oh, I love Chinese. I like all foods pretty much. Okay, where's that one?
It's on Willow and Nice.
Will-
They have the best banh mi sandwiches. It's like
And it's 3 sevens? To this day, I still think my favorite pho is, and I didn't know about pho until I came to Fresno. Pho Paradise over on Clinton and First, I think. There's like a Pho 99 right there, like on McKinley and First, and then you go up for anyway. Yeah. But I'm an equal opportunity pho eater. I will eat any of it, all of it. I apologize. I'm recovering from a sinus infection. I sound bad and I cough and everybody wants to run out of the room and wear a mask, all that kind of stuff. And I wouldn't blame you for wearing a mask. I have one. But my break wasn't good. I got a cold. I got COVID. The test was 15 days ago. I'm good. And then I got a sinus infection this last Sunday. So yeah, I'm glad to be back. Why are you here? Why are you in this class? Yeah, that's a good lie. All right. Why are you here? Somebody told you had to be, right? Nobody wakes up at 8 o'clock in the morning and goes, yes, physics. Me. but nobody else, right? I know, I understand, I have a captive audience, and what's even better is that you're paying to be here. Right? Like, I don't pretend that you're here because of me or any other reason, right? You have to do this class to get to whatever career goal or whatever, right? What are our majors in here? Just shout them out. Engineering. Okay, so computer, civil, environmental, biomedical, mechanical, chemical, electrical. We hit all of them. Geomatics, aerospace. What'd you say?
Mathematics.
Okay. Out of the engineering now. Math. Come on, biologies. Microbiology. Yeah, more and more of the biology and pre-meds and stuff are requiring the calculus-based physics. Planetary science. Anything else? No self-confessed Russian literature majors? I had one semester, I had somebody say, I'm an English major.
Oh, jeez.
And I went,
Wrong class.
wrong class. He's like, nah, I'm going to switch to physics. I was like, okay. But he went in as an English major, came out a physicist. I had one of my physics majors write to me like 10 years after he graduated with his bachelor's in physics, wrote to me a letter of apology because he had become a high school English teacher. And he felt like he needed to apologize to me for betraying the cause or whatever. And I thought it was wonderful. He discovered that he loved literature and writing and all those different things. And as he went through his physics, he graduated with physics, but then he went back and got his master's in English, which must have been really easy after doing physics. He told me that, and all the books that I assigned for reading are science books. All right. What are your future educational and professional plans? Anybody going to graduate school after? Most of you are going to transfer, right? Okay. So what's after the bachelor's? Medical school? Masters in counseling? Maybe masters, not quite sure. Wait, there's life after this class, Mr. Balogh? I didn't know it. Master's, PhD, so you're in it for the long haul. Okay, yeah. And professionally, what do you want to do?
Math
Professors, what? Estimators.
Work in the habitability lab at JPL.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Oh, JPL. They're evacuated right now, but hopefully they are. Yeah, they came really close.
Right on their border, actually.
Yeah.
Right on the Mars River.
Yeah. What else? Something that pays well, right? We're getting straight to the American dream here, right? Okay? Get something that makes me money and lets me afford to live, and I'm afraid of the future because my parents tell me I have to own a home, and that's impossible. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. What do you like in your classes? What's something that's happened in a class, different teacher, different class, that really helped you? Either engage or learn or pay attention or whatever. Extra credit? I'm sorry, you might want to drop now.
Funny stories.
Funny stories?
Communication.
I have stories. You can decide whether or not they're funny. What do you mean by communication?
How can I say it?
He bothered you every
Keeps in
day?
touch with you,
Oh, okay.
make sure you're on the right track.
Yeah, I will never send you the stupid physics quote of the day. Right? It's not going to come through. If I'm posting announcements in this class, it's because I royally screwed up or there's something you really need to know before we see each other again. Communication with me is handled primarily via email. You'll learn the times of day that I'm kind of almost, it's like instant messaging, right? You're sending and I'm sending. The first thing that I unplugged in my new office was my phone, because nobody uses those anymore, right? Okay. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're trying to call me at home or something like that, I'm going to kill you. Once I leave campus, I am a father and a husband, and I do other things. But when I'm here, this your time, right? So communication, you'll see it happens pretty quick, and you communicate with me whenever you sent that email is when I assume that we have communicated, even if it takes me a little while to get back to you, right? You need to know that I do triage my emails. Those of you that work in medicine are familiar with that term. I get a bunch of emails. I don't answer them in the order that they came. I answer them in the order of like severity and importance. Like some things have to like be fixed now, like accommodations and that kind of stuff. I'll handle right away. If you're just, contemplating the universe or has a physics question, I might kind of push that one a little bit backwards. But I will get to it. Right? And my turnaround time is usually less than 24 hours, often less than 12. So, communication, what else has helped you in your class? Or like things that, humor?
Humor. Yeah.
Again, I'll let you decide if an old white guy can be funny.
Yeah, like humility, like being human.
Okay.
Showing them that you're not a robot up there. You don't just go through life working.
Yeah. No, Elon Musk did not make me. Oh, an organized canvas. So please let me know if my canvas is organized. I think it's organized, but my brain is all that kind of stuff. All right. Why did I spend 15 minutes asking you these questions? Secretly, I'm a philosophy teacher. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just killing time. No. Why would I want to know you?
So you can engage with us.
Yeah, I need to know what kind of makes you tick. And so I can sort of change up examples, the way we do things. The more you communicate with me, the better I'm going to be able to help you, right? Like I said, it's you and me versus physics, not you versus me. So the more I can know about you, the more we do it together, the greater it will be. All right. So.
Can I ask a question?
Go.
What's your favorite food?
Okay. I'm glad you asked. Okay? Okay? Because I think turnabout is fair play, right? I just spent some time asking questions about you, right? Now, I'm going to give you like 5 minutes to ask any question you want about me. Physics questions can come later, okay? But what are you curious about? What do you want to know? Don't be bashful, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I think most of my students look at me like this. Because hair's starting to grow out of my ears. Or this, right? I snap my fingers and half of you fail or something like that. I prefer to see myself like this. Some of you know what this is. The rest of you, if you have no idea what this is, shame on you, okay? This is Doctor Who, and it is the greatest science fiction television series of all time. That includes Star Trek. This is fighting words, right? Okay. But yeah, no. And David Tennant, the one on the right, is my favorite Doctor, although the Matt Smith Doctor storyline is my favorite plot line. So, and if you've watched, what's that? They are cool. They are cool. This is the only day that you will see me in a bow tie. Okay, it's the first day I'm supposed to look like I know what I'm doing. Come lab, you're going to see me in sweats and a t-shirt, okay? Because got tired of ruining clothes in lab. But yeah, if you want to see me in a bow tie ever again, you got to come to church on Sunday. It's the only other place I'll wear a bow tie. All right, what's my favorite food? Can you please narrow that down to a geographical area or country?
Here, your favorite place to eat here.
Oh, in Fresno? My wife and I go through phases. I'd say the phase right now is Indian food. Again, it's a very common one for us. We really like Brahma Bull, which is over on West and Shaw, near the Target. There's another place that opened up right across from like Woodward Park. It's like, what is that, Friant and Fort Washington or something? It's next to the Runners thing. And that one's pretty decent. We like that one. Please don't ask me about pizza in Fresno. There's no good pizza in Fresno. Yeah, it's just bad. You want good pizza, go to the Bay Area. For Chinese food, we usually default to Imperial Garden.
What's your favorite burger place?
I don't like hamburgers,
No.
not really. So I like Five Guys French fries, and I like In-N-Out's hamburgers. Colorado Grill, I do like, but hamburgers is like not even in the top 100 for me as far as foods go. It's a sandwich pretending to be a sandwich. Not sure I like that.
Is a hot dog a sandwich in your?
Hot dogs are not food. Polish sausage, on the other hand.
Gift that keeps on giving.
Bratwursts, yes. All that kind of stuff. Yeah, what else do you want to know? Yes.
How many felonies do you have?
How many what?
Like traffic violations do you have?
Traffic violations? The last one I got, you can count them on one hand. The last one I got, this last May, my wife and I got to celebrate our 25th wedding anniversary. We've been married for 28 years, but the 25th wedding anniversary was supposed to be in 2021. And we managed to get to England. And I got a parking ticket, right outside the home of James Clerk Maxwell, who was a very famous physicist that did a lot of stuff for electricity and magnetism, because the sign that said I had to pay for parking was covered by a tree. So I looked around, I looked for the pay stations, and there's nothing around, so I thought I was clear, and nope, came out an hour later. But parking ticket, I was fined once on this campus for turning, over there's a sign that says don't turn left. It was like 6:30 in the morning, there was nobody here. I turned left in the parking lot, and one of the campus police officers came over and gave me a ticket. And I went over and chatted with the chief of police. And so, yeah, that was a bit ridiculous. But yeah, no, I'm not one to cause traffic problems.
Did you get dropped at least, the ticket, or did you
No.
just have to pay it?
No, but that officer wasn't around 3 months later. I didn't ask for the officer to be fired. I mean, they were doing their job, right? But yeah, we had a discussion about possibly when it's appropriate to enforce the law. Especially when I was like the first car in the parking lot at that time in the morning.
You're obviously not causing any hazards.
Right, yeah, no. I love video games. Path of Exile 2 is taking up just about every piece of my free time right now. I'm into flight simulation, big time. I've built my own home cockpit sort of thing, and do a lot of flight simulation. It's cheaper to fly a flight simulator than it is to fly a real plane. I really enjoy the outdoors, hiking. Before I got too old, I was a mountain climber. Climbed in Yosemite a lot. Yeah, those are given free time, I will be outdoors or I will be indoors playing video games.
What's your favorite spot you've traveled to?
This is unfair, but it's Yosemite. But there's a long story there.
So have you done like rock climbing?
Yeah,
Where's your favorite rock climbing spot?
Yosemite.
Where have you been in the world?
I've lived in the Philippines for 2 years. I was a missionary in the Philippines for 2 years. That was after my first year of college. I've been to England. I've been to Iceland, Canada. All of North America. As far as further south I've gone to Mexico is really just kind of Sonora and northern Mexico. And then where else have I been? England. I said England. Yeah, that's about it. I grew up in Santa Cruz, California. Explains a lot, doesn't it? Yeah. I grew up in Santa Cruz, although that's kind of a lie. I spent 9 months out of my year in Santa Cruz, and the other 10 months and 2 months. The other 2 months I spent living in Yosemite National Park because my father was a seasonal ranger, He was a teacher, and then he was a seasonal ranger, and we would pick up the whole family and move from the coast of California to the mountains of California. It was a tough life. Somebody had to do it. I was 22 days old when I first went to Yosemite. And if anybody knows Yosemite, I lived at Glacier Point during the summer. So I know every inch of Yosemite from Mount Hoffman southwards. Mount Hoffman's the geographic center of the park. If you want to know anything about Yosemite, you come ask me. I'll tell you where to go. Yeah?
What's the most embarrassing song in your playlist?
I'm not embarrassed easily. You'll discover this. Why would music be embarrassing?
Some people are.
Okay. I mean, my music playlist mostly consists, I have two playlists really. There's a Christmas playlist that we turn on for Christmas. And then the other playlist is pretty much nothing but like musicals, Broadway musicals. So music's big in my family. My wife is a musician, and my daughter is a choir brat. She's graduated now. And so like, chances are in the Balogh home in the evening after dinner, we're singing songs. Like my daughter and I will sing duets, and my wife will play the piano and all that kind of stuff. So, although I'd say most of the stuff I listen to now is podcasts, like lots of different podcasts, that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
What's your favorite musical?
No. Okay. I have a list. Top 10 musical. Where's my top 10 list? Top 10 lists. Musicals. In reverse order. Starting at number 10, Oklahoma. Number 9, Fiddler on the Roof. Number 8, Wicked. Then Lion King, the Broadway, right? Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. Singing in the Rain. Beauty and the Beast, again, the Broadway. And the top number 1 is Phantom of the Opera. I think mostly because Phantom of the Opera was the first musical my wife and I ever went to together. So, that one wins. Top 10 video games? Okay, all right. And we don't have any physics to do, right? Okay. Let's see. This list is much longer. We'll do. All right. We'll stop with we'll start with number 5. Okay. I've got like 30 on here, top 30. But okay. So number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Top 5, Monster Hunter, and then like I can't Monster Hunter Wilds class next to the semester. It's not going to happen. It's coming out. Was it coming out in February? March? Something like that. Number 4, Portal. Like Portal 1, Portal 2, like amazing games. You can get Portal and Portal 2 for like pennies or $1 or something on a Steam sale, and it'll run on a potato of a computer, and so good. Number 3, World of Warcraft. Now, I haven't played World of Warcraft in like 18 years. But for the 2 years I played World of Warcraft, right? It was amazing. Like, everybody's used to like service games now and all that kind of stuff. That's the one that started it, and it was magical. Number 2, anything with the words Half-Life in it. Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, Half-Life Alyx, right? Again, amazing pieces of art and video games and interactivity and storytelling. So good. And then in the number 1 spot, anything with the words flight simulator in it. I have been flying flight simulators since my Apple II Plus, where it was like a horizontal line that kind of went like this on the screen. And all the versions since. So I've been flight simming for more than 45 years.
Do you think you can fly an airplane now
No. No, I am a licensed drone pilot, but I make no illusions. There's a very big difference between simulating a plane and flying a real one. I have flown. Growing up, in my teen years, one of my best friends, his dad had a plane. It was an old Piper Cub from World War II, fantastic plane, and training aircraft. And we would go out and fly that. And so I learned a lot about flying. And I wanted to get my pilot's license until I found out that I was poor and I couldn't afford it. But yeah.
Will you give us a week off if Half-Life 3 comes out?
Ooh, there's a thought. Because Half-Life 3 has been coming out now for what, 15 years? 17 years? So yeah, we'll see.
What's your favorite Monster Hunter weapon?
Favorite Monster Hunter weapon. Now, everybody, we're wasting time now, but this is okay. Okay, the two I constantly go back and forth on are Charge Blade and Greatsword. I am a fan of big numbers in Monster Hunter. The bigger the number, the better, even if it takes me a half hour to get it. But the Charge Blade is too much of a Swiss Army knife and too easy. Yes?
I have two questions. First, did you tie your own bow tie, or is that the
This is a tie my own bow tie. There's no, right? Full thing.
And then, have you ever had to remove a student?
To remove a student? Yeah. For what reason?
Like permanently, like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You cheat, you're gone. Like, it just, you'll see, right? Like, because there's no way I'm going to let a cheater go build a bridge.
You're going to kill people.
Right? Like it's just, there's no question. So, yeah, no, yeah. So, forcibly remove? No, like I've never had to call the this is not an invitation, okay? But I've never had to call the police on my students or anything like that. All right, we've been at this for 40 minutes. You guys are fun. This is great. Unpause. We did that. Okay, and I had, no, it went back to the, okay. The very boring part of the day. So everybody wants, it's like a ritual or something. I have to talk about this thing even though you can go on and read it. You notice I'm not handing out a paper syllabus. You can ignore it online just as well as you can ignore it on paper, right? But please, like everything's in the syllabus that I think is important for you to know about the class. You want to get through in there and get an idea, right? Class culture, all that kind of stuff. Let me just hit the highlights real quick. And this is going to be an unfolding story over like tomorrow in lab. We do a lot more in detail of these different things. Just don't have time in today. And then, you know, we'll do more like about exams and things as we get closer to an exam. So just hold on to your hats. If you have any questions, just interrupt me and throw your hand in the air. Textbook, yes. More on that tomorrow, okay? But you have to purchase the online access. And the lowest price will give you access to everything you need. You're not being hampered or anything like that. That code is only there, wait, like when they pop up and say buy the book?
Yeah, you gotta put in the code.
That is only there if you like bought it in the bookstore and they gave you like a code like to go with the book. Otherwise, you just pick from their options. And we can, so there's when you, really quickly, we're going to go into this more tomorrow. There is a 15-day grace period, like a free trial. And it's kind of hidden somewhere, a little tiny text on the page. Click on that, you're in for 15 days, you don't have to pay anything, and you can get all your questions answered about which one. There's like different options, like which ones to buy and all that kind of stuff. So I'll talk more about that tomorrow, but I'd say hold off on buying it if you haven't bought it already, wait through tomorrow, all that kind of stuff, and then you'll have all your questions answered. But you are required to purchase access to the online homework and the ebook. Like it's one price, it all comes together, and it's fully, like everything you need is there, okay? If you had physics here before, like you're repeating 4A or something, depending on which one you bought, it's probably still good. Attendance. Do you have to be here? Trick question. Is your grade directly tied to attendance? Oh, you're not here. Oh, minus 10,000 points. No. But do you need to be here? Yes, right? This is not a class you can skip out on, not because I'm good or amazing or anything like that, but because you need each other. You need this time. One of the things about physics that is so hard is the fact that you are coming through that door with prior knowledge. And you're like, Mr. Bailey, I've never had a physics class before in my life. How can you say something like that? You have, however many years old you are, is the number of years of experience you have with our physical universe. You have assumptions about how it works. Things like acceleration and velocity and what it feels like and all these kinds of stuff. Unlike, say, a history class or an archaeology class or any other kind of class, like most classes, you come in with this empty bucket, right? Your knowledge bucket, and it's empty, and you're like, fill my bucket, right? You come into this class with a full bucket. And problem is, half of the water in there is dirty. It's not right. The assumptions that you've made, the things that your parents have told you about, like why the sky is blue. Why is the sky blue? Reflection in the ocean. Oh my gosh. What's color of water? It doesn't have a color. Why is the ocean blue? Because the sky is blue. That's the order. What color is the water, is the ocean when it's cloudy? It's gray. Because the clouds are gray. Okay? The reason the sky is blue is because of Rayleigh scatter. What does that mean? Well, I know. Most people don't. But there's lots of stuff that you think you know that isn't right. And so part of what I've got to do is help you identify the bad water in your bucket and pour it out. And sometimes that feels bad. It feels kind of violent, right? Because I'll push you right up against your assumptions and then show you exactly why you're wrong. Like I said, fail fast, right? We've got to get these failures out. We've got to get the bad information out and put good information back in. So it's not just filling a bucket. It's emptying your bucket and refilling it properly. And so that's one of the reasons physics is just a difficult subject. So yes, always plan on being here. Homework. Okay, let's just, this is where you're going to go. Tomorrow we're going to do more about this, right? Tomorrow's a big day. I think it's bigger than this day. So be there tomorrow. It's got everything on. If you've already been there, hooray, push all the buttons, see where you can go. We have this thing called GRASP. And GRASP is a tutorial session that happens here in this building, our lab room, NS127. We will have the physics tutors over here from the tutorial center. We will have faculty in that room. I hold my office hour in GRASP. Now my office hour starts at 7 a.m. You'll notice GRASP time here is 8 a.m. to whatever. The door of NS127 opens at 7 a.m. That's when I am there. Okay, I'm there from 7 to noon, 11:50, because everybody knows that noon is 10 minutes earlier, right? Because that's how all classes work, right? So I would say that you want to spend time in, like you want to plan. I wish I could schedule like this third hour in your schedule, right? So you could tell your boss that you have to be here or whatever kind of stuff. If for whatever reason, life circumstance, job, work, whatever, you can't do GRASP, make sure that you plan time to get to the tutorial center during the week. Students that come to GRASP and use GRASP can tell you over and over again that it's what saved them. It's what turned their B into an A. It's what turned their D into a C, right? So check it out. First time is this Friday. And if you want me in my office hour, that's also where I'm going to be. We talked about attendance. The reason that this slide is up here, okay, is to communicate a couple of things. How many days, like when should you be studying physics? All the time. The reason being is that your brain needs time with these ideas. You can't expect, like if the homework's due on a Saturday, to be starting to study physics on Friday or Saturday morning, because it takes time for your brain to form these complex neural pathways they're being asked to form. And you need like exposure to it, and you won't understand the thing, but your brain in the background is going to be chugging on it. And then you'll try again the next day. And so you have a study schedule or preferential times or times that are forced upon you because of life circumstance, whatever it is. Try to dedicate at least 20 minutes a day to physics. Like if you've got a day where you know you can do 4 hours of physics, great. But on the other days, make sure that you are touching on it just a little bit. Be engaged with it, right? Every day. This is a marathon, it is not a sprint, okay? And so make sure that you're just interfacing with physics constantly, okay? Minimum of 12 hours per week. The average varies. I've had students tell me they spend as little as 5 to 8, and I've had students report to me that they do 30 to 35 hours per week on this class. The rule of thumb is you take the number of credit hours in a course, in which case we have 4 credit hours here in this class, and you multiply by 3. And that'll tell you the amount of time outside the class that you should be spending on it. Some classes like PE, that's not true, right? Okay. Other classes like physics, that's probably a low ball number, right? Different classes for different people and different skill sets. But that's the target. If it takes less, hooray, but it's probably going to take that or more. And I'm just trying to communicate to you that this is a big pull. This is a big haul, okay? And it's not to be trifled with or joked with or anything. A daily interaction, and then just plow through. Don't miss. Can't skip any chapters in physics. All right. Exams. We'll talk a lot more about this as we get closer to the exams. Does anybody know what this dimensions is in stupid units? That's 8.5 by 11, yeah. Okay. Standard letter piece of paper, right? That's a summary sheet, a cheat sheet, whatever it is you want to call it, that you get to bring with you to the exam. It's the only note page that you get to have with you during the exam. You make it, not me. I don't provide it, right? So as you're going through the chapters and you're identifying pieces of information, formulas, whatever, that you feel like you might want to have with you on the exam, get those onto a summary sheet, get those onto a cheat sheet, right? So you do get that with you on the exams. And again, we'll talk more about how exams work as we kind of get close. I could give you a bunch of information now and you totally forget it. So, but yeah, and comprehensive there in parentheses. I won't say on the chapter, what is it, 12, 13, 14, the last unit exam, I'm not going to go out of my way to ask you a chapter 4 question. We're focused on that unit's things. But the problem is, chapters 12, 13, and 14, statics, gravitation, and fluids, depend on all of the chapters that came before. Again, in other subjects, like history and English and all that kind of stuff, you could teach history out of order. I'm sure there's a good way to do it, like a preferential order, but you could teach about ancient history after you taught about American history, right? Whatever. In physics, we can't do that. We have to teach you about acceleration, velocity, all that kind of stuff before we can start talking about projectile motion and launching things through the air. We've got to talk about forces before we can talk about impacts. We got to, right? And so physics, and this is true for like chemistry as well, it's like a ladder. You're climbing this ladder, and you can't skip the rungs. Like you can't just check out of chapter 3, right, and be okay for chapter 4. Because we're going to use chapters 1, 2, and 3 to be able to do chapter number 4, right? Like it's just, that's how it's built. It's, again, why physics is a difficult subject. So physics is by nature comprehensive. I don't have to go out of my way to make a comprehensive exam. Make a little bit of sense about what I'm saying here. So our exams always focus on the unit that they're in, but you're going to be using stuff from all the previous chapters to do it. What is the most important number on the screen? It's not the 70. It's the 15. But that's, Mr. Balogh, that's so small. 15. Why is that the most important number?
That's where you get all your practice.
It's where you not only get all your practice, it's where you get all your learning. Really. Like the homework is where you are going to fail, and fail hard, and fail fast. right? And get all those mistakes out of your system so that when you are asked to do the 70%, you're ready to go, right? The 15% homework informs the 70% grade. I go out of my way to make the homework harder than the questions you will get on the exams. Homework questions usually there's easy, medium, and impossible or whatever, right? I'm going for medium difficulty on the exams. If I give you hard questions, I'm hoping to over-prepare you, right? The harder questions give you more opportunity to figure out where your weak points are and where you need to study and all that kind of stuff. And so by the time you get to the exam, you're like, oh, you're insulting my intelligence, Mr. Balogh, I can do this, right? That's ideal. So treat homework with the seriousness it deserves. And again, I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow, like ways to do homework effectively and all that kind of stuff. Okay. As you'll find out tomorrow, lab reports and in-class quizzes are almost automatic A's. Okay. Again, we'll go into more of that later. But the homework is the most important grade to actually do. Like, it's really easy to get 100% on your homeworks using online tools. But if you've robbed yourself of that learning, I'm going to find out. The exams are written and designed for me to be able to figure out what you've learned, not that you can just get a right answer. But again, more on that later. All right. I don't take late homework because as soon as the homework is due, the keys post, the full keys about how to do all the stuff. So you can go back and see what you did versus what the author thinks that you had to do. I do drop the 2 lowest assignments. That's equivalent to 2 weeks of homework, but like I just said, you really can't skip any chapter in this class, right? You got to do the whole 18 weeks, 17 weeks. So life happens. You'll need to communicate with me, but even though life is happening, got to keep going. If life happens in certain extreme circumstances, then we have a different discussion. We figure out how to get you back on board in a different way. But can anybody summarize what my exam makeup policy is? Like a real short version. Don't miss exams is another way to say that, right? That's a 33% penalty per day after the exam that you're taking the exam, right? So that means that if you take the exam a day late, your maximum score is a 66%, right? Now, if you communicate with me, right, before the exam, and I decide that your situation or excuse is valid, I can waive these penalties. The one penalty I normally don't waive is the makeup penalty, right? Sometimes I do, but a lot of times you're being given extra time for some reason, and your exam is going to be more difficult, okay? Again, this is an incentive for doing the exams on the day that they happen. If you get sick, things are happening, again, communicate with me and we'll try to figure something out, right? But I really encourage you, and as tomorrow you'll see on the calendar, the exam dates are already published, okay? Yeah, and if you know that you've got training happening for work or military, somebody's getting married, right? If you know these things are happening, sports teams doing stuff, tell me ahead of time and we will make arrangements, right? I communicate with me, right? I'm not unreasonable, but this is my policy and I'll kind of point to it if I think that your situation doesn't warrant it. I unplugged my phone, I don't use that. To technology. I already have the question, Ms. Bale, am I allowed to use my iPad? Yes, by all means, good grief. You imagine what would happen to you if we said no technology, right? You have teachers like that, right? No technology, check your phone at the door, blah, blah, right? Nah. What I do ask and what I do expect you to do is to use your technology in here to be doing physics, right? So if you're on the social medias or playing a video game or watching YouTubes or whatever, in here, you're doing the wrong thing in the wrong place, right? Outside of those 2 doors, there's an entire universe for you to spend time doing those things, right? What are we doing in here? We are trying, this is golden time for us, right? to be able to work and fail together and do all of these things, right? So I am authorizing you and empowering you. If somebody near you, in front of you, whatever, is doing something on their device that is not physics and is distracting you, politely tap them on the shoulder or say, hey, would you please, you're distracting me, would you please get back on top, And if they are mean to you, give you the finger, call you a name, whatever, tell me, I will kill them. I'm not above kicking people out of class who aren't in here for physics, right? So help each other out. If you struggle with attention problems, in my family there are 4 people. 3 of us have attention deficit, and it's not me. My wife and my 2 kids, okay? Oh boy. And so I get it, but at the same time, right, we want to try and focus as much as we can. So help each other out. If you're the kind of person that just gets sucked in by all the red bubbles on your phone, anytime you pull it out to do a calculation and all of a sudden you find out you're doing something else, come talk to me. I can show you how to put your phone into a focus mode that locks out the apps while you're in lecture, right? And makes it harder for you to open it or graze it out or doesn't show you the bubbles at certain amounts of times, right? And so, yeah, there's ways to get our technology to be our servants rather than our masters. And I think that's another important thing to learn. So, but please use technology in here as long as it's not distracting anybody else. If you're sitting in front of me going, I'll punch you. And then, homework. So please don't misunderstand this. Please ask me questions, right? Before class, after class, you got a question, come up and ask me. If it's a homework question, if I can tell that this question is going to require more than 30 seconds to answer, I'm going to push you off and say either email me or can we talk about this tomorrow in lab or office hour or something, right? The 10, 15 minutes I have, when this class ends and the next one begins because I'm in here from 9:30 to whatever, I have to rearrange. I have to get into mental zone. 4B is happening right after you guys, and so I've got to switch into electricity and magnetism mode in my brain. You'll probably see me goofing off a lot, before and after class, talking about video games, doing something, right? Okay. Please come up and ask a question. And you might be thinking, well, Mr. Balog's goofing off. He has time to ask her a homework question. I'm psychologically resetting, right? I'm getting my brain flushed out and ready to go into the new stuff. Or I'm setting up equipment or something like that. Please come up and ask a question, but don't be offended if I say, that's a great question. Can I push that one off? Can you email me, right? Because I am trying to kind of guard my time a little bit with getting things set up. So please, I'm approachable, right? But just a homework question is going to take more than 30 seconds. I promise you. All right. What is physics? Study what?
What happens in the universe?
What happens in the universe? Yeah. How big is that place? Yeah. Okay. Physicists, we're very arrogant sometimes. We're like, well, we're the chief science, right? From which all other sciences flow. Except maybe biology. Biology is about smelly, squishy stuff. But we tend to think of chemists as just being applied physicists, right? Okay. And engineers, right? You engineers are great. You're going to go off and do wonderful things. Don't ever ask a physicist to build a bridge. We'll screw it up, okay? We can tell you where the forces are coming from, right? But in terms of the practical application, there's no way, okay? That's not going to happen. So physics, this is from The Far Side. It's an older comic strip that was it's still absolutely brilliant. How do you know they're scientists?
Well, they're in lab coats.
They're old white guys in lab coats, right? We're trying to change that. We're really working hard, okay? But us old white guys are still around, okay? They got a bunch of math on the board, and what is the math equal to?
0.
And then down here, I'll read it. No doubt about it, Ellington. We've mathematically expressed the purpose of the universe. Gad, how I love the thrill of scientific discovery. Zero, right? I spent whole semesters doing a bunch of math, 3 pages later, only to find out it was equal to 0. Physics is supposed to be like exciting, right? Launch stuff, blow stuff up, do all this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's all fine and good, and we'll do a little bit of that. But a lot of it is teaching you how to think like a scientist and an engineer. I am a physicist that has betrayed my subject. I don't teach this class like a physics class. If I taught this class like a physics class, we'd be deriving everything from like first principles and all that kind of stuff, okay? But I understand that the vast majority of you are not going to go on and become physics majors. You are going to be engineers, you're going to be scientists, you're going to be doing something else, right? And I'm more concerned that you understand enough about physics so that you can apply it in your chosen fields. And so I teach this class with that idea in mind. So there'll often be a lot of times where I'll be like, don't worry about where this comes from, but here's the tool, and now let's talk about how we know how to use it, right? And so be aware of that. This class would be very different. It was just full of physics majors. I would teach it very differently because physicists have a particular way of going about doing things. And I'll teach you some of that, but most of what I'll focus on is application. There was a hand up?
They got the answer wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
It's 42.
42 is the answer. It's always the answer. It's true. All right, very good. I'm glad you guys know some of the references. Those are kind of old-fashioned. I'm proud of you guys. It's good. All right. This is what we're going to do in this semester, okay? Kinematics is the first unit. Newton's laws is the second. And then there's like a third unit that covers rotation. And then there's some subjects I haven't put in here that's the fourth unit that's more like a grab bag of all the applications of everything we've learned before. So we spend like the first 12 weeks of this course, that's what is that, like 66% of this course, learning 4 toolboxes, ways of approaching phenomena in the universe and being able to describe them in the foreign language of mathematics. Any primary mathematics speakers in here? Mathematics being your first language? No, I didn't think so. Okay, right? So we'll do that, but this kind of gives you a broad sort of overview of where we're going and how we are going to do it. When does this class end? 9:15. So you guys, thankfully, are free. Before you go, though, tonight, get on Canvas, try to get into the textbook. On Thursday, I'm going to be doing all of Chapter 1. It's hopefully a review if you've ever had a science class before. It's like unit conversions, that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to do all of Chapter 1 on Thursday. You're going to want to have gone over the book, seen the information first, so that you can come in here and not hear it first here. See you tomorrow in lab.